May, this is where we crown a champion. Will it be the first ever SEA major champion, or will it be the first Chinese champion during the regular season? We're about to find out as we head into game number 5's draft. Our panel are already willing and able to bring you all of their thoughts and predictions as we head towards it. We're back with Kyle, Winter, and Jack once more. And Kyle, I want to talk to you about fatigue. Is it real? Is it thought about? Do the players even care? Do they even notice going into their 8th game of the day?
I think it's certainly a real thing. At least it's so hard to like keep track of like even the games you've already played, like what's worked, what hasn't worked. You lose track of the why behind all of your wins and losses.
Does it become very mechanical?
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's game 8, you know? Like, how are you, do you even remember why you beat VP 6-7 hours ago? So it affects both teams, but I think LGD specifically, now they're entering probably their 10th or 11th waking hour, 7th or 8th of just Dota mind.
And we're talking not just, I don't want to disparage anyone, but when you're playing Dota at home in your boxer shorts, 8 games isn't all that much. But when you're playing 8 high-level pro games with this kind of pressure, in a grand final, in a booth, in front of everyone, millions of viewers, that's different level, isn't it?
For sure. I think that they should go back to their bread and butter, and you keep things simple. I feel like the games they've lost, a big part of that is Ame really isn't able to. I mean, first off, they were playing against Naga both times. And second, Ame wasn't really on a hero that would naturally pressure towers. Obviously, Troll does, but he was like completely countered in that game. And even though they get ahead on all their cores early on, they can't do anything with the lead, and they don't have the ability to make or force team fights with their supports.
Right. So pick something for comfort, because that means less mistakes potentially.
Yeah, I think it's just, you see Chalice every game with an HOD hero, Ame on the tower damage, maybe on the playmaker. I think you go back to that, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Leshrac come out in game 5. That seems to be what LGD turns to. They're banning Nyx every game, and I just think that hero's super strong.
Okay, Mineski have got first pick in this final game. How important is that going to be, Winter?
Very important, because this means that they are probably going to get like Tiny. I think one of those heroes. I think both teams really want the Tiny very badly.
Yeah. Do you think then LGD just ban it? They won't want to risk it falling into enemy hands, will they?
I think you can leave the Nyx, take bounty.
They have to choose one of them, though. I am pretty certain they're never going to give the Prophet.
No, the Prophet's been banned all 4 games. Hard to see how they suddenly decide in game 5 it wasn't as important as they thought it was at the start of game 1.
Do you think they can give up the Omni Knight, perhaps, for that first pick?
Nah, I don't think you want to first pick it as
Tough, isn't it? I mean, like we said, probably by game 5 they're going to run out of bans. They'll have more to ban than they can ban, and that's pretty much where we're at right now.
This changes stuff up because I think it's the first game Mineski is first pick. They've been banning Omni Knight, Veno, TB recently. I think you stick with that, even as first pick. You take the Tiny, you leave things open. If
they can take the Tiny.
Yeah, if you're LGD, you could, I think, ban the Tiny, leave the Nyx, and plan around that hero because...
But there's also the Underlord as well.
Yeah, I think you keep getting rid of that. You get rid of the Prophet cannot be in the game. The Underlord shouldn't be in the game.
And then that leaves potentially a Veno.
Well, the Veno's getting banned by Mineski, 100%. You got to get rid of it. I like their
There's
bans.
almost too many, isn't there, Jack, now?
Yeah, it's just what threat do you want to play against? And,
which one's less evil to play against?
Yeah. I think situationally, though, it's pretty good for LGD. And not just the fact that they have Radiant, but they have second pick, right? So you already have this playstyle that heavily favors protecting your last raid boss, big carry, Ame. And so that goes naturally into that because you will get the counter pick at we will get the final say in the draft.
I like what they did, though. Mineski banning the same heroes, but in reverse order.
Okay.
By that 8th game, their vision's blurry. They're not really sure what's going on.
Hey, guys.
There's the Tiny ban.
Go.
Okay. So LGD, we're not going to let that come out because it would have been a first pick for Mineski.
Yeah, that does leave. There's a DP, an AA, a Beastmaster, a Gyro.
The Underlord.
The Underlord, exactly. I think
that's got to be the first
pick. I don't think so. I don't think you first pick it. I think you.
But do they allow that to go through and let LGD they do? Okay, so they're going to pick up the Naga.
They've
LGD
realized it's all about the BKBs. LGD, every single game, both Ame and Maybe are on these BKB heroes. Naga has a 5-second BKB piercing disable. It is winning them games, and I really think that's the direction you keep going, especially with Terrorblade out of the pool.
Okay, Tusk Gyro or Tusk Underlord? Tusk Leshrac, and that was called by Kyle.
I think it's the way to go. With Nyx, it's because they're banning Nyx. So as soon as that hero's gone, there's no real like gotcha counter to this Leshrac. And maybe he's proved that he can play against pretty much everything on this hero. I've seen him play against Lifestealers, Jugs, Pugnas. They win the games anyway. And I think this hero gives them and their best player the hero that can impact the game in the best way. Because it's objectives, it's laning, it's rotations. You saw him use a TP in that deciding game against VP to get here in the first place. All about those teleports with Max Lightning. He runs in, kills people.
Yep. They played the Leshrac, of course, earlier today and 2 days ago. Both times they won. They've beaten Liquid with it and they've beaten Virtus Pro with it. And now they need to beat Mineski to claim the championship.
I might be a bit biased because Leshrac is also my favorite Dota 2 hero.
Really?
I think he's in a really good spot.
Yeah. Why is it your favorite?
You can just do everything. It's the same reason Underlord is so good in the patch, but obviously it's a disco pony. I mean, come on.
Kyle used to pick it a lot as a support when they run at you and they have this Leshrac that takes the towers.
Back in my playing days, it was one of my favorite heroes.
A disco pony.
It's a lane push out though as a position 5. It's nice to have that as a support.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it does have that flexibility if they really need it, if it gets really hard countered in the draft. And
that's also why I love it as second pick as the opener. You saw EG use this a couple times. Their only flaw with it is I feel like it was almost always Sumel's hero, whereas, yeah, it's for maybe, but I'm sure that X-Nova can play the Slash as well if necessary, and it'll allow them to take another core as probably their third pick, and then you have this, do you want to core it? Do you want to support it? Just leaves your options open. But already looking at the support duo, this Slash is going to be core 100%.
And since your second pick, you get until the last pick to kind of make that final, right? They don't get to see that.
It's also really good synergy with the Tusk because your Edict and your Nova follow while you're still inside Snowball. It's another reason why the Yols is such an easy pickup on the hero because you continue dealing damage even though you're floating around invulnerable.
Okay, so some pretty seminal heroes for both teams have been banned out. The Void has gone again. Mineski didn't like playing against that. LGD have removed the Pango. No surprise in either of those two bans. We've seen them before.
They need to find a good lane matchup though against the Lash if it's a mid hero.
Who do you like to lane against the Lash? Apart from the
sure though, it's like DK is available, but DK doesn't do.
I don't think
much
you DK.
on the lane.
Don't DK into Lash.
Thinking of maybe Viper, Pugna, but I've seen him do well against Pugna. I've never seen him play against the Viper yet. That could be a go-to.
Seen it played against the Jug.
Coming.
Oh,
Didn't work very well against that. There's the Underlord.
I think Mineski took a gamble though, because they banned the Monkey King, and the Underlord would have been really good for them as well with the Naga combination.
I mean,
game is hard.
Kind of know that hero is going to be picked, so I'm sure Mineski's got to be ready for it. I like the DP. It's a really solid anti-Underlord hero. Good synergy with the Disruptor Naga. I hope they've got something ready because they gave away the Underlord after the Lesh was picked up. This is their game 3 draft. They have 3 of the same 5 heroes already.
Time for Rubik, man. FY Rubik again. This game would be nice too. They have the Lash and the Underlord. And there's pretty good spells to steal. There's the Naga. There's the Death Prophet.
I don't think you give FY Rubik. This is an X-Nova hero. I want to keep FY on his Tusk.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I still think the anti-mage Huskar Tingle is there. As a
I think you go AA here if you're LGD for that reason.
Oh, you're right. You're right. AA.
Yeah.
Forgot about the AA against DP.
Yep. A against DP, the synergy with the shards. It's so good with Leshrac Underlord. Like, it's 30% more damage on these heroes that just radiate magical damage. The only other... I could see them pick maybe like a Witch Doctor or something. I just don't think that's... Is that really the direction you want to go?
But why would you pick Witch Doctor when there's AA?
Yeah, that's
with their lineup.
I don't know. That's the NA Dota in me, man. That hero has won so many games in the region. I just see it when games at this tournament where you're just like, oh, well, Lion. You know, I had a feeling they might go that direction, but it's good to deal with like that potential anti-mage that we're talking about, but we'll see. Maybe LGD feel like they just need more control because they like picking, when they ran this with against VP, they had Disruptor Tusk. And if you have AA Tusk, then maybe they fall into the same situation you had last game where you just don't have the catch, and there's the mag. Ooh. They might... no, they're not going to Ember. I was going to say.
Well... So they knew the Underlord was coming.
So pairings with Magnus Troll, Juggernaut.
They've quite a few, haven't they?
That's
And I
Jug,
guess that's really good in terms of only one ban remaining as well.
Jug, Lifestealer, I'd say are the options.
5 seconds remaining.
I think they'd probably lean towards Lifestealer.
Yeah, Lifestealer is great against the Magic. It's good in the lane against Underlord.
I've seen them play Mag Lifestealer a couple of times. There's the PA ban. I don't think that's what they're looking at. It's a Lifestealer or a Jug. I'm liking the lineup Mineski has. The Disruptor seems to be this key hero that just is winning so many games because it covers these holes in your draft where you no longer need much more catch. As long as you have the ability to take a fight, the window for being caught out of position against a Disruptor is so much larger because you have a glimpse now, not just like some stun. Like the reach provided, there's no other ability even close. They banned the CK, which tells me it's a Lifestealer pick coming up. Maybe they just want to talk things through a little bit first. They seem like they know the hero.
10 seconds
A little bit of tension in that booth too. 71 has the power.
5 seconds remaining.
He's just prepping his pick. We ready, boys?
Yeah.
Let's
Called
go.
it.
LGD.
Here we go. It is the Lifestealer.
Now, what do you do if you're LGD? It's hard to pick something like PL because you're playing against a mag.
2 picks in, you would have said LGD had the upper hand in this draft, Kyle, wouldn't you?
I mean,
Now,
I love
not so
the
much.
Lesh. I love the Lesh. It's still a great pick here, but they need. I'm looking at the draft from Mineski. I think, okay, how are you dealing with a Lifestealer raged and empowered, and how are you going to ever take a team fight into Song?
This has to be something tanky.
Yeah, the Void's banned. It could be a PL.
Do they go for Medusa here, or is that...
Oof.
I wouldn't mind it.
That's okay though. I think Medusa is pretty good with their lineup. Medusa and Underlord, so you hold the base for a very long time.
AM, yeah, I was going to call it.
Oh, okay. Have a taste of your own medicine with the Arme AM.
It's the textbook Lifestealer counter.
Yep.
This is part of the reason they pick it up here. There's very little you can do to an anti-mage in this game, but it's going to be one of those like Ags games, I think. Maybe even with the BKB. And Ami plays in this style where he just doesn't die, and then he can hopefully deal with the damage and pressure from Mineski's lineup. It's a really tough game to call, but I think Mineski has momentum. And for the first time, I'm going to make my prediction first and give Southeast Asia their first major title.
All right, Mineski for Kyle. Winter. Is this heart and head? Are you
It's
like
difficult though. But
heart Mineski, head LGD, or?
I think AM is not going to be able to pull this off. I think that's going to be too much pressure, so I'm going with Mineski.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a very difficult anti-mage game. Even if he gets to the point where he wants, I feel like there's a lot of ways to deal with him or kill him. So I like Mineski's draft in this game.
Okay, a sharp intake of breath. Hold on, everyone. We're about to enter game number 5 and the final game of DAC 2018. Mineski versus LGD with everything to play for.
Indeed, Red Eye. Here it is, the deciding match between these two titans, LGD versus Mineski, Game 5. And we are getting that Arme anti-mage coming through, Fog. They change up to the series. Can he make this hero work in a meta where others have failed?
Ooh, he's playing it into Disruptor and Death Prophet too, but there's not like crazy amounts of stun. They have these silences to hold him down though if they're able to catch him, at least in these early stages. I don't know, it's gonna be tough. But Ame, just like the panel said, he likes to play these hard farmers. They at least have the building damage that can come in from the Lash to claim some towers early on to maybe get this anti-mage to get some space, but again, this draft, they are lacking building damage, which is a concern.
And a hero as well, sort of as the panel said, that at a certain stage of the game, it's going to be very hard for Mushi to deal with, right, in the fights, late game AM.
Late game, yes.
But they have to
He has to get to that point, and that's where we've been seeing a lot of this is the reason why AM's kind of fallen off. Received several nerfs, and also the pace of the game has definitely increased heavily.
If they can pull it off. And of course, on Mineski, a lot of fun things to look forward to once again. Ice, bringing his Magnus to the foray for the second time this series. They'll be able to secure themselves the bounty
They know
rim.
he has mana break, so they're putting as much pressure as possible.
They're going to go for the body blocks here. Ice coming in from the high ground, and then Nova does hold them back with the stun, but still Arme taking a lot of damage there from that rundown. He's trying to come back in and poke at jabs. Out towards Nova. Mineski really playing around with the next Nova. Gets the 2-man turn, but Mineski will still be able to get the pull off.
Chalice as well, taking a heavy amount of pressure from that open wounds top. Both of them they're trying to pull waves. We've seen this every single game in this best of 5.
For the lanes.
Dual lanes, as expected. We've been having it majority of the time. The last one we did have that try for a while, but Jabs putting a lot of pressure onto X-Nova here.
X-Nova does have the stun available. He feels the necessary need to use it. And we'll turn towards Jabs. Jabs. No out of mana.
The rotation now too. The Tusk is coming down. Jabs might get caught off guard because of this.
See if FY can find the shards. He'll go for it, and he's got
gets
it
it.
absolutely perfect from FY. The perfect angle, as there's no escape for Jabs, and that's an anti-mage getting first blood. Arme with the thanks to give to FY.
They made sure to give it to the AM because he did miss a lot of last hits from Dome for that chase. He missed like 3, I believe, from the denies coming up from the mag from the creep pull wave. And yes, an AM game. You got to give him everything to accelerate his farm.
See how much pressure Jabs and Ice can apply to him. Ice again with the skewer, looking to harass Arme as much as possible whilst he is still level 1 without that blink available. Still that point in the mana break. That's all he's got, and he's dead. Jabs and Ice run him down and punish Arme.
Great play between the two of them. Having this Naga worked out so well for them in the last game. Just the pressure that they can put out with this hero in the laning phase in particular.
See how much Mineski can get for the lane in response to Mushi Lifestealer, where it's going to be definite sort of kill potential for Mineski as they scale up their cores. Bottom lane. Arme getting the mana away from Ice.
X-Nova even goes for mana drain too. Make sure they can't get spammed down by this Riptide and from these skewer plays from Ice.
Ice.
Oh,
so a bit of a dream room for him there. All the way back up to full here for the mana. Top lane Chalice and FY. They'll look towards Boogie. Boogie immediately TPs himself over the tree line. No hesitation there, as he knows that these two can get their hands on him. A few punches will cause a lot of issues.
Both side lanes are accomplishing ideally what they want. Arme is getting shut down a bit more than Mushi, but he's got the kill. That first blood giving him a decent amount of gold. And mid lane is pretty much even. This is a boring mid lane.
Yeah, Somnus
There's going to be
40
nuking lanes versus each other. Unless rotation's coming. We see FY starting to make the move in Jabs.
Trying to run down onto Nova, but Arme jumps in to help out and pushing Jabs away. Jabs just with a little bit of the extra movement speed will be able to get himself out to the distance. The mid lane unlikely to really swing favorably one way or the other until a rotation comes through from either of the sides.
Yeah. Both teams. I feel like I've seen this actually in all the games, right? They're just constantly pulling waves, even pulling the neutrals.
Over?
He denied himself.
Okay.
So you see top, Chalice is trying to manipulate creep waves. Bottom, Jab's got the side pull off to deny some creeps from Arme. Pretty much been that and Dominator has been the story of this best of 5 for me.
Mate, just trying to take this big creep away from Jabs, but Jabs still coming with the Riptide. Says that's fine.
Jab's getting trapped.
Getting these shards, allowing them to get a couple of punches in, but Jabs with those boots does have the movement speed to get in and out without too much of a threat. Top lane Boogie. Have the salve cancelled. Chalice gets the touch in. Watch the Mango and keeps the Firestorm. Plays down by the tower, forcing that lane and making sure that Mushi has to farm underneath the tower, but as we can see, Mushi dealing very well with the pressure.
Somnus in the mid lane is doing excellent versus Death Prophet right now. Has level 5, almost level like halfway to 6, and Moon's only level 4 at the moment because of these 8 denies. I also do believe that he saw the Tusk rotating in a bit, so Moon was a little afraid of the FY trying to commit for something because he is at risk of dying with those rotations on the Death Prophet.
Nova. Because with the stun, they jump forward, they're able to burn a bit of the mana. It's not enough though, because Ice still gets the skewer back under the tower. They look to dive in as FY snowballs forward, but Jabs is there with the TP. We'll be able to keep Ice safe. Strong attempt there from LGD to try and burn the mana before he could skewer, but he just had enough. Ice. Okay. Quick back up and Shrine. Skeet will be able to top themselves back up to full. Chalice also playing a little bit away from the lane now as that Lifestealer is getting that bit more scarier. With the 2 points in the Feast and the Open Wounds. Don't ever want to step too close as an Underlord, especially when he's got backup.
Yeah, I mean, we see this from most Underlords. You just go to jungle when you've got that level 2 or level 3 Firestorm, and you can farm better, because in the top lane you're at risk of dying, and you're not really gonna get guaranteed last hits versus a lifestealer when there's support there.
Movement coming in from LGD supports FY and Xnova, looking to set something up here for Somnus.
It's a 5-minute wave, so they've got the siege creep too.
Have to dive in for this, and Jabs is already around, backing up Moon in case any sort of play comes in like this, and the pings are coming through as well. I think
They're ready to go.
so they want to dive this. Moon keeping himself under the tower. They're going to go for it. Straight in under tier 1 with the charge, the stun, the burst. They've got it. LGD's in, and Jab's unable to do anything about that. He's already headed away from the mid lane.
It's all about these timely rotations. It's during those catapult waves you tend to see a lot of teams make the moves.
Not deny that from Somnus.
Jabs wanted it with the
He did.
Riptide, but gets denied.
Not quite enough. But the farm continues for Mushi, but the same to be said for Arme, despite sort of those early few waves being contested quite well by Mineski. Now we see the point where Arme, he's getting pretty much free farm now in the AM.
Yeah, he blinks into Jabs, but they're not able to actually go for anything here.
Got 10 charges on his wand, Arme. Not feeling too scared at all. Somnus getting some pressure onto that tier 1. So Ahmed already bringing it down to about half health. The back of that kill that he was able to get thanks to FY and Xnova. Trying to pressure in top. Notification comes out from Chalice. Boogie still sitting right beside Mushi, just in case any sort of rotation comes through from LGD, and it is sort of starting to as FY will head up towards the top lane.
Want to try to make sure to mirror the movements from the supports so they can defend their offlaner. Ninja Boogie's here. FY's here with the snowball though if he wants to go for a save.
See, they've got the root. Indeed, FY looking to turn things around. Somnus comes in with the TP, finds the stun onto Jabs.
And he gets glimpsed back to the mid lane. I think Somnus is actually pretty happy with that.
I think he absolutely is.
He gives a chat wheel.
He absolutely is.
The crowd likes that one. So now having this AM versus Magnus matchup bottom, they're able to move a lot around the map. And Mushi now
top.
getting pressured. He's got the Infest though on their creep.
And now he can maybe turn. The backups there from Jabs. They have the root, but instantly. Chalice with the TP out, and FY able to walk himself away. LGD avoid Mineski being able to get a successful return kill.
They're doing a great job in this laning phase this time around, having actual playmakers, because the last time around it was very hard for them to make plays. It was pretty much all dependent on Somnus' Tiny, but this time they have FY on the Tusk with a much easier scenario to make those rotations.
And they continue to farm. He is keeping the mana low of Ice, but it's not stopping Ice from being able to CS himself. So Ice getting good farm.
Yeah, he has 37 last hits.
Yeah.
He's pretty much neck and neck with Ame.
The TP come in, FY. Maybe seeing if they can make some sort of a play. They have Xnova coming in from the side, but look at this. With the helm, he scouts out the line. He knows it's there. But is it actually going to be enough information to get him out? The snowball will miss, as he is now trapped up by FY. Comes in, has the shards. Xnova with the stun. No escape for Ice. Mana Void from Arme secures the kill. LGD making a lot of movements and certainly setting this start of the game up to be quite a beginning for an anti-mage.
Yeah. And they have very good heroes to clear waves in this game, too. They have the Leshrac, they have Tusk, they have Underlord. They can keep these waves pushed out so that Ame can get this farm out. Even if they do get on the back foot a lot, they can clear those waves so that the pushes are averted.
I think there's quite an early movement from Mushi on this lifestealer.
He's almost got the armlet done, but very early move. I guess they really want to give Disruptor level 6 so they can get kills on the anti-mage.
These shards, of course, from FY just playing around with Mushi, forces him to rage and back away.
Yeah, I actually think that's exactly why he wants to make the moves, because right now, they can't really threaten kills onto the anti-mage. Without any silences available, it's very difficult because they lack those actual real disables, so they need Ninja Boogie to get 6 for that Static Storm to get those setups onto Ame to slow down his farm.
Looking at all 6 cores in the game, as you can see on the individual net worth, all 6 of them within 1k of one another. Very, very close in terms of the farm that they're finding in the lanes. This rotation towards mid, though. FY finds the shards onto Jab stun. Will miss here from Somnus, but it doesn't matter. The lightning's enough. LGD get themselves the 5th kill of the game. FY doing some fantastic moves here with the shards.
Yeah, you can feel that difference, that like they can actually make those moves this time. FY just constantly running around, has a haste through now, says hello to Moon.
Be able to block him off. Be able to get the kill, but at the least. Getting some punches into Moon, forcing Mineski to react. Got to be a little bit careful at the glimpse, but with the haste, he can get himself just out of range. Oh no, he actually walks back in.
He's got snowball, yeah.
Ah, nice.
It was a bait.
Nice.
It was a bait.
Nice little
it was
plays
all a
there
bait.
from FY indeed. He says, glimpse me. And then he gets out his balls.
Do they have 6 yet on Disruptor? Not just yet, so they still can't look for the plays onto Ame. He's about to have it, though, if the one more creep. He's actually walking up to get the experience from the catapult in mid. So he gets that level 6. He's got a smoke already, too, so they can make that move toward bottom to look for the AM. It gets pinged out by X-Nova. It seems like they know that they're going to make this move down.
Do top Mushi.
All right, they're going to go for top instead. It's Mushi.
A little scared about it. As soon as they sort of see Mushi show himself, they're worried that he's maybe got backup behind him.
As soon as they depart up top, they start making their way. They want this AM. They're going to get some deep wards down during it as well. But already, LGD, they're positioned for this to respond.
They really are. They're ready for the fight down here, LGD. In fact, they may be the ones to kick it off straight away. Looking for Ice, but he gets the skewer out. Still, the rest of Mineski, they want to get in on this. They pop the Exorcism, glimpse back onto Somnus. They've got him in the Static Storm, rooted up and surrounded. Somnus in trouble. More TP's coming through, but Somnus will fall. Chalice comes in, immediately looks to Dark Crypt himself out, but the damage is too much from Mineski. They find 2 kills out of this and maybe even more. FY being chased down by the slow from Siphon. Moon looking to finish off another one with the root from Jabs. They'll surely get it. That's 3 down. On the bottom lane as Mineski come in with the full movement. Despite LGD's best attempts to look to take the fight, they just can't.
That was strange by Chalice in particular there. He TP's down, instantly tries to Dark Crypt away, but there's too much damage. You're porting into an Exorcism. Ice kind of with the bait play, but they kind of, they knew that play was coming though. They even positioned themselves down bottom. They just still get caught off guard by Mineski.
This is a second tier 1 tower taken by Mineski, making these early pressure moves.
And with that movement as well, it's not just to get that tower. They get the deep wards down. They know that Ame, he's an AM. He's going to go for Battle Fury. He's going to farm jungle. So keeping tabs on him to be able to look for those pickoffs. Mushi top. LGD, they're trying to strike back here.
And they find the opening straight away. There's the Hex. They have already used the 1 stun. It looks like they don't need it. With a burst from the finger, they have enough.
Arcane Rune as well, so that'll come up a bit faster on the line.
Static Storm will be back there for Boogie in 5 seconds. We'll see if they can do something. Jabs and Moon heading up towards the top to try and put a slowdown on this push from LGD. X-Nova's on the high ground. He's going to watch them coming in. Goes for the Hex onto 1, stun onto 2. Static Storm gets popped down onto Somnus, but he immediately TP's out of it, and there's no way to hold him back. LGD will get themselves out of there. In fact, they're looking to maybe make a play straight off the back of it as towards the bottom. FY comes in with a TP, snowballs in onto Ice. The Mana Board and Shards coming down. Ame jumps in. There's the root from Chalice. They hold down Ice, and they take out the Magnus. LGD avoiding a play and making one themselves.
Great responsive plays coming out from LGD. I really liked X-Nova there, that positioning that he was in. He's like, I'm going to try to tank this gank. And he actually ends up stopping it. And now a TP again, Ninja Boogie. Also with the net.
And when Mushi come in with a wraparound, this will be an easy one for Mineski. They pick up the line, but mid lane, Somnus. Pushing in.
This is the benefit of having that Lesh. Even though they have AM who can hit towers, Lesh has got Edict. And even more deep wards being placed from Mineski from those movements. LGD, they have vision of Ice porting in here.
And they go for this. Open up, got the slow, the root. He can't screw himself out for now. The chain stuns, it's enough. Ice will fall. Can't get out the RP, and Chalice says, we're out of here, boys. This is a smash and grab and run away. But the sleep is not going to do anything. And they get themselves driven home by Chalice, despite him being asleep. It's dangerous, kids, don't do it. Get out of there, LGD.
That's back-to-back kills on Ice. Alme getting closer and closer to that Battle Fury. He's having a pretty good time keeping up with that farm.
Absolutely getting the space with these sort of movements from LGD.
And now Somnus able to get a tower now too with that Edict. So able to claim themselves a little bit more map control and give this AM more and more pressure and more boosted gold for that Battle Fury.
They want to keep the plays going, Mineski. They need to. They have this lifestealer against the AM. They have to get Mushi involved. Sure, this game is a little different in the sense they have the empower, so Mushi can play the farm game to sort of some extent. But ideally, they want to get this lifestealer stuck in with this early armlet pickup.
Chalice.
The wraparound.
They want to keep the Static Storm. They can kill him without it easily. They need the Static Storm in order to kill these other two big cores, either the Lash or that anti-mage.
Top lane, FY. Grab the vision there on Ice backing up for that lane ward.
Oh, is he going to try
hiding around here?
He's going to try to snowball the Centaur in.
He was thinking about it. If Ice shows, but Ice is playing very careful, keeping himself.
They're not playing
well
the farm.
behind the tower.
They're not playing the farm game on these heroes at all. They're like, AM can carry this game. We just need to make the space and keep the pressure on for him. FY. Starting to get chased out here with the urn. Tries to shard himself down, but doesn't actually connect. TP.
It's going to be cancelled. They've got the glimpse. Mineski have the catch. FY will be caught out by the patrol from Mineski. Playing Mushi. Find himself a double damage rune. In terms of people to really get him involved in the fights, though, it is really all on Ice getting that blink dagger.
Yeah.
As other than that, no real other way to sort of jump the lifestealer into the center of it all. That blink dagger is there, of course. It is a very potent combo, especially if it's empowered. And you jump in, the RP infest, and then cleaving down the opponents.
Yeah, FY, once that blink dagger comes out on the mag, FY is going to need a blink dagger of his own to counteract that. It's going to be a lot based on these position plays for this Tusk to get those saves. And LGD, they've got to smoke. They're looking to stay on that aggressive. Keep the game active for Ame to farm. And they've got ward vision too of Moon. They saw that he's low on mana. Up in that top jungle. They want to try to catch something out of all this. And again, now Mineski, every single time they've got Static Storm available, they're looking to make a play as well.
See where they head, though. As LGD, for the most part, up towards the top. Mineski going to be able to read this.
They did see Ame with the ward they'd placed deep. So they could make a play toward the top lane. Well, Mushi, he could show himself bottom during this as well.
Ice is prioritizing farming this blink dagger mid rather than joining the team, though, so they will not have an RP for this. Here they go, Moon trying to kick things off with the exorcism, but straight away Nova responds with the Hex. The shards forcing Nova back to safety. Mineski trying to look towards Somnus, but Chalice, he's there with the Rift. He's taking them out, and they'll even bring out jabs on the way out.
Oh, man.
The perfect play there really for LGD after getting smoked upon. They get a kill, and they get everybody out of there.
And it's the exorcism from Mineski used too. They don't get anything out of it. And Ame just playing the full far game. He's showing.
Got the full Yasha on its way out. I believe so.
These saves, these like the Rift plays have been phenomenal so far from Chalice. Except for the one bot.
Sure. They are looking towards an illusion. I realize pretty quickly, and we'll see this replay again up top. This attempt quickly put to a stop, and Chalice, no hesitation really, as he looks to get his buddy Somnus out of there.
Yeah, it's such nice shards too by FY, protecting X-Nova. At least the Static Storm wasn't expended, so Mineski, they still could look to make an aggressive move with that available.
And really just for that big item timing is that blink dagger on Ice, and he's very, very close to it.
Yeah.
That's what Mineski are certainly looking towards in terms of making a big play. And whether it be a huge RP in terms of catching off this sort of patrolling four-man of LGD or just a solo RP on the anti-mage, both are going to be huge plays that Mineski could potentially make.
Yeah, and they can, if they do get one of those big plays, they can look straight into Roche because they've got the Medallion, they've got Riptide and Empower.
Mid lane.
FY.
They want to play around with this here. They'll go for the glimpse. He's got the snowball, but it will be a snowball onto Mushi, so we'll drag him pretty deep here. He's got the range. Mushi instantly turns. FY tries to sharp block himself to safety, but he's not going to be able to do so. The helmet don't play deep with the Centaur. They're going to be able to set up a second. Mineski get the two supports there of LGD. Now bring the game even to 9 for 9. Less than a 1k advantage at the moment for LGD. And we've seen this in multiple games this series, around the 20-minute mark.
Dead even.
And then it all kicks off in favor of one of the sides. Yep. The real question is, which way is it going to go this game? And this game definitely feels more like one with the potential to sort of swing back and forth, with the fact that you've got both of these cores that can effectively Scale and Farmer. Mushi with the cleave. Anti-mage with the Battle Fury. And both teams with very good team fight potential.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on Ame to make sure that he can carry this game.
Mineski going to be found out here as they are. Straight away jumps upon FY, finds Ninja Boogie. They've got the stun as well.
The
Hex,
sleep.
but the sleep comes in, jabs. Looking to put a stop to it. Ninja Boogie will still fall. Ice looking for the angle, looking for the setup, and he's got it. They've caught the two of them, but the shards actually from FY. They're forcing Mushi out the side, so we can't quite get the quick kill. LGD will turn. They'll take down a second. Somnus does still fall. FY rolls in onto the Death Prophet, but the exorcism's out from Moon as Mineski will find a third.
Ame silenced up in the Static Storm right now, too.
Can they finish off this kill? They're bringing in Mushi. There's the silence from Moon. They're chasing down Ame. This will be a huge kill for them to fight. Can they get it in time? They can't. Ame gets
my
out.
goodness.
The buff there from the Solar Crest. Chalice giving that extra bit of evasion to help Ame survive. So both teams getting away with pickoffs there. You see buybacks from either side support, but it's not over yet. Moon being chased by X-Nova. The stun will not connect, so Moon will be able to get himself away. Huge amounts of damage there being done by both mid laners, Somnus and Moon, as you can see on the graphs. The overall
Fairly
change,
even exchange
it really
again.
is.
It's all about if they were able to get that AM. Ame now has the Manta style
I mean,
picked up.
I really feel it could have gone a lot worse for the side of LGD if FY didn't get the shards. It really sort of disrupted the follow-up.
The shards were excellent. And Ninja Boogie too, he tries to walk in, but he just gets killed by all that AoE damage.
But you see this here, Ice, he gets the two of them, but these shards
they were
just block
beautiful.
Mushi off. Mushi has to make the walk around it. It's the extra bit of time that allows Somnus to kick back, get the big spells out, and at least pick up those quick kills in return, so LGD have a chance of fighting back.
With some excellent teamwork.
And the fact they just couldn't get that Ame kill, that would have made everything amazing for Mineski if they could kill this anti-mage. But level 17 now, as we saw as well, the help given to him from Chalice with the Solar Crest, keeping Ame safe.
Yeah, now he's much harder to kill because that Manta can remove the Death Prophet silence, not Static Storm. But.
Scan from LGD will hit outside of the pit, so they are going to be under the suspicion that Ski are potentially in there.
LGD is smoked up though.
We do have RP back available for Ice. Smoke in scan in return from Mineski. They know that LGD is sweeping across it. Who's going to get the jump onto who? Moon?
There's map reads by both sides.
Who's going to make the first commitment? Somnus will reveal himself. Starting to come forward. They've got the route onto Moon. Somnus heading in. Ice is looking to hold from the sidelines. He's trying to find the perfect time to jump, but already they're moving in. They're bursting down the Death Prophet. Moon still alive though. Snowball's there to chase him down. He'll get the self-use. There's the RP! Ice gets it, catches the two of them. Mushi with the double. They've picked up three Mineski. And Ame, he's been silenced. He's trying to turn. They've got the route. Can they kill him off again? Chalice looking to bring him back to safety. They will. Chalice takes back Ame. But Mineski getting these kills. Ice with the composure there to come in just when needed with the RP. They keep Moon alive and they take down three of LGD, and that was also Somnus dying just after he'd picked up that Bloodstone. So charges have been lost.
It almost looked like they were going to get the kill onto Moon there too, but with that hood pickup, just tanky enough versus the Slash Strike, even though FY gets the snowball to close the gap. And then Chalice, again, with these Uber plays.
Still Ame. This anti-mage beginning to tower over everyone else in the game. Exactly the position that he'd hoped to be in. And his team have absolutely set him up to be there.
Moon now has a BKB though, so a lot more survivable versus that Lash, and also the Mana Void. The Mana Void can be a big thing in this game versus DP having that high mana pool. And Exorcism costing more and more. Mushi hitting it very hard though with this Des OS and Y while he's empowered.
And the game settling as
really we mentioned it at the beginning, is like the battle of the SEA 5s, and X-Nova and Ninja Boogie both sitting at like 2K net worth in almost all these games, barely getting any items. It's all just about that warding game and who can have the superior advantage in vision. Neither team actually has a single obs ward on the map at the moment.
See Mineski there, maybe thinking about smoking up for Roche, but they'll turn and see if they can get an opportunity to find maybe a kill instead. There is that dominated creep within the pit, so...
He actually dominates a new creep there.
But
This might actually catch LGD up entirely off guard.
Just before they were going to be aware of it, and indeed they're not hiding over. Mineski are going to get this one for free.
Yeah, he took the siege creep top, so lost the vision inside the pit. It did die incredibly fast too, though, so it might have been pretty hard for them to contest anyway.
Aegis now on Mushi's lifestealer. Top lane, maybe seeing if they can get a catch here as Chalice and FY are hiding deep in the trees. Keeping themselves away from Ice as he turns up to the lane, halfway towards BKB now on his Magnus. Arme on his build, very, very close to having the butterfly.
Gone for the blink cooldown now too, so 3.5 second cooldown on blink to keep that
That's off
push
LGD.
top.
They managed to come out from the trees, look towards Ice, but TPs are coming in, and FY and Chalice can't quite finish off the kill.
He is not a squishy Magnus. That is a 2,000 health mag. That 15 strength talent, making him just that much stronger. Bottom of the
lane,
Hex.
Mushi. He's out on his own. There's the Hex into the stun. Mushi's out of mana. He'll try and run himself away. He has got the armlet. Can he really toggle himself to safety? He cannot. That's the Aegis gone.
Nice.
Somnus is going to look for the timing with the stun, but he can't quite find it. Mushi gets the chance to rage. In fact, Somnus just looks to the side. He's got the ult set up onto Ice. They're turning towards this Magnus. Ice trying to keep himself safe. There's the song for Japs. Moon's been brought into the fight. Do they want to take this? They do. They get the RP down onto this AM, but they can't quite kill him. The snowball's there from FY. But they do. They still manage to pick him off. Static Storm control onto Somnus. Ninja Boogie's there, forcing the Bloodstone Denied to come out from the Lesh. Mineski take the team fight and are able to kill off Arme.
I think he had like, I want to say like 1.5 or 1 second left on the Manta from using it bottom to go for the kill. And that Age is coming into play there for Mineski, being able to sneak that Roche.
Now Mineski, I can say, a very easy tier 2 as they finish that tower off. And the question is if they can try and push for more. There's no anti-mage for 45 seconds, and obviously with Arme going in with the items, he does not have any sort of buyback available. A high ground may not be quite pressured yet, though, as Mineski will simply look towards mid. Now let's take another tier 2.
They have Exorcism in 2 seconds, though.
No RP or Song, though. Mineski look to back off and relatively safe for now, as it seems with LGD's full lineup back up in 15 seconds. Now sporting a 3k lead, Mineski, off the back of that team fight.
That was huge. Whenever you're able to kill an AM in one of these anti-mage games, it really starts being a big snowball factor, because it's not just like you're getting a lot of gold from killing him, it's a lot of map presence removed from LGD. Mushi getting closer and closer toward an AC now on top of that Deso. Has level 20 for that evasion too. Gonna be harder to bring down. And Somnus dying like what, two times kind of back-to-back, losing majority of his Bloodstone charges, already down to 6. Been heavily slowed down by the moves of Mineski.
On him.
FY.
Sort of playing around with him there, as he'll be quick to TP himself out of that. Get a bit of the attention of Mineski, as they do now have their full lineup down bottom.
Trying to push those waves out so they don't let Mineski hit their base. Chalice constantly pushing in top. So FY, he goes right back down toward bottom to keep nuking those waves as well.
Size RP back online. See how they look to make the play. Arme, Chalice, shoving this wave right up to the tier 3 tower.
He's going for Abyssal Blade next on Arme to make sure that he can actually lock down this lifestealer and try to pop him before the Rage is able to get off, and to disable through that through that Rage as well. Does feel like he might need a BKB afterwards though.
Oh, so he goes, but there was a ward down here from LGD. Chalice move. Gonna rift down here. They're sweeping across. They do want to try and take this fight if Ice makes the jump, but Ice will be a little wiser than that.
Mineski, they saw the Rift play coming in, though, so now they're going to respond. They're bringing everybody down.
See what they can find. Mushi, he's out of ice.
They now see X-Nova, and I believe they caught vision of Ame. The ward will be taken away. And now they want to use that vision that they have to try to look for a pickoff. They saw that Ame used the Manta as well with that ward, but he's too far away for them to get there. But they're making the straight line toward top. They're expecting him to make that move up there.
Ame certainly sort of looking towards that wave.
They're
Will
stalking
he go
him.
out into it, though? They'll reveal themselves, Mineski, using the Grip Swarm, so Ame. I don't know that Moon's here.
Looks like he's going to try to cut the wave here.
Things starting to settle down once again. Ame. Show. Abs thinking about trying to go for a setup with the song, potentially. Ame putting wave after wave.
This blink cooldown.
Minus 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, able to
allowing him
keep-
to jump everywhere.
Yeah, keep distancing himself. But Bastion now finished. And the gold lead has started to diminish again because of the space that they're making with that split push. The AM going one lane, other two heroes going another, and I believe the Underlord was also forcing a different one. So showing in 3 different lanes in essence.
TP in from Ice. As he'll look to try and put a stop to this push from Somnus and FY. Jumps in, has Mushi within him, but Somnus is out and so is FY.
They're trying to delay this game, get this anti-mage to that 6 slot level.
It's only getting bigger and bigger Ame, but that warrior will always prevail with the AM, in the sense that it is sort of that 4 protect 1. Ame ever goes down, there is going to be the benefits for Mineski as they have effectively 2 very strong cores in
Ninja
response
Boogie.
to the Ame anti-mage. Let's get the glimpse, in fact. The catch on him in the static storm, they'll try for, but Ame's simply going to turn towards jabs.
Moon's here though with the silence.
He should be fine here because Somnus comes in with the stun. Silence is going to wear off, so Ame can blink himself away. Mineski just not with quite enough catch and response to deal with Ame.
As soon as they see the exorcism expended, you see LGD, they try to just ditch away from that fight. Maybe now they can reset and look for something here, but they expected all of Mineski to make the move up there after all that has happened. And again, we see the battle of the Roche Pit, the dominated creeps going at it.
No surprise here. The kill participation a little lower than average, but that net worth,
Yep.
10k above the average here from Ame.
The Abyssal is a very crucial timing as their anti-mage. Sure, he might want to BKB later on, but this gives him that kill threat on a majority of these heroes, because then he can actually lock somebody down, use that Manta to burn their mana, and get the Mana Void combo. SS has queued up a Refresher, and now an Octarine also finished up for Moon. Getting that level 20 also is making this Death Prophet quite a lot tankier. 2600 HP, even though he has 1880 mana. And Mushi now going for the MKB to counteract that butterfly of that anti-mage. And just the constant battle of map control, pushing lanes out, and watching, keeping tabs on that Roche Pit, which will be respawning in about 55 seconds.
Keeping down bottom now, X-Nova. He will hold their own inside their area of the jungle.
X-Nova saw that, Ninja Boogie has a Glimmer Cape, so he's like, I really want a Glimmer Cape of my own, man. He's got the
Oh,
cloak.
look at
He's
that.
got a cloak now. It's on his way.
Empower on the Wildwing Ripper there to help him out against Carty in this exciting 1v1 in the pit.
Dude, it's actually been happening for the last like 10 minutes, just constantly taking creeps and throwing them in there. Game has become quite a farm game. And LGD have closed the gap down to pretty much 0 on both net worth and experience.
Very, very close indeed so far.
It's game 5, right?
It's game
No
5.
one, these teams want to take minimal risks.
Everything on the line here for these two teams who made it, of course, so impressively far here at DAC. Would hurt a lot to lose it all now.
Look at this on FY too. He's been starting to get a decent amount of farm, has that 90 GPM talent too, has the Yules, and the next item, the big one versus the Lifestealer.
Absolutely.
That disable versus it goes through the rage, able to just punt him out of the fights constantly.
You can get in sort of with the counterplay after a good RP, jumping forward, a kick out, a protective snowball, so many ways that if FY can play at the top of his game, we'll be able to respond to any sort of jumping from Ice Ice Ice.
Ame gets used up.
Can they catch him? Got the silence. Get the blink out, but they have the glimpse.
Instant glimpse.
Looking to control him here, and they have got him.
And that's 90 seconds. He had finished the Abyssal Blade right before that kill. You're going to see LGD, they're just going to push out the side lanes as best as possible, try not to let Mineski get anything out of this kill. But Mineski, they even held the RP there. They only had to commit to static storm.
And instantly moved. He's looking for more. Somnus with the self-fuels. FY is there, but can FY really help out Somnus? The BKB's out from Moon with the Exorcism. They want this kill. They're going to get it. The Dark Grip not available in time to take Somnus back to safety. Will only be FY that's brought out back to base. But indeed, this minute, a very, very scary minute for LGD.
Yep.
Losing the anti-mage, losing the Leshrat. Mineski getting the dream pickoffs, and now the Aegis. How much can Mineski achieve in this little window that they've managed to open up for themselves? Can they at least take a tier 3 tower?
It just doesn't feel like LGD can take these fights. They're just trying to delay and delay, but at one point you have to be able to take a fight in this game, and now versus Aegis and Cheese, they don't have their cores either. Mineski threatening that high ground.
Here comes the push with the Empower as well, punching through these towers. Fortification comes out for the time being. Very close to having the 2 cores back in the game, LGD. Mushi, he rages, he's up there, and he's found the tier 3 tower, opening up the base, and Mineski will play it safe. They back off.
They want those shrines. Their side lanes also are kind of being pushed in too. They got a lot out of that though. All the way back down to that 6K gold lead, 6K experience lead too.
It's only getting to this point where for Ame, he may have to sort of tone down the solo pushing out the lanes, as the catch from Mineski is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think eventually they really do have to try to take these fights. They can't just be playing like this, because they're going to get caught off eventually by this RP, which is just going to get worse and worse, because there's going to be 2 RPs at one point.
They're looking to strike back. They've got their eyes on towards Mushi, jumping forward, but Mushi does get the rage out in time, and the rest of Mineski are coming forward to back him up. Ice, Ice, Ice. Oh, he's looking for the setup here. They've got the song onto free. Ice, Ice, Ice getting in the midst of it all. Pops the BKB. They've got the control onto Ame. He's stuck in the storm. He's getting rooted up as well. Can they finish off in time? The skewer, they're doing everything to control it, but Ame still alive. Can he get out? He can. Blinks away. Ame survives through it all thanks to the buff up from Chalice. Chalice coming in with the Crimson Guard and the Solar Crest, keeping his anti-mage alive. FY rolls across. They look towards Jabs. Jabs still became tough, gets himself away. Mushi chases down Chalice. Mineski, the fine one. But Ame survives. LGD looking to get the rest of them out of there, and they will.
Did he abyssal the illusion or the creep there, I think? Because they tried to make a jump onto Mushi, but they get completely pushed away and lose their Underlord.
Making sure that Ame is setting it. We'll see this again for the replay, Fog.
What is the abyssal? I think abyssal's the Naga illusion, right? So they snowball, he blinks, and yeah, the abyssal on the Naga illusion. Yeah. He does have an Aegis and everything too, though. But I mean, he's lucky to get out from that. Like you said, he gets buffed up from both that Solar Crest as well as the Crimson Guard, just keeping him alive. It was looking very scary.
And that fight could have certainly got a whole lot messier, though. Just one hero dying amidst all the chaos.
8K gold lead now for Mineski, and the experience getting more and more in their favor.
Ame, of course, this game taking the Mana Void, reduced cooldown, Spell Shield. Not really too many sort of magical damage outputs coming really from Mineski's lineup. It's mainly the physical he's worried about. Having that extra Mana Void in a team fight certainly do a whole world of good, especially when you've got 2 ways of getting the mana out of Mineski with that line on your side.
It's very hard for them to take the fights, though, as we've been mentioning. They have to catch one of these big initiators before they can actually get those spells off. Getting that Abyssal Blade on, like, either the Disruptor on Magnus, just trying to kill them off before that fight starts. And it's getting scarier, like we're saying. We've seen Ninja Boogie now. He started to take priority and farm over the Naga. He's getting close to an Aghanims on Disruptor.
But looking to FY, Chalice pops the Crimson Guard. Can FY get himself out of this? He's got the Snowball, looking to buy time before that blink's come off cooldown, but Chalice, he's going to be the one to get punished. Ice, Ice, Ice gets him with a quick skewer. Again, Mineski finding the Underlord. Does have buyback available. See if Mineski can try and force this out of him in this minute.
They've got an Arcane Rune on the Death Prophet as well, so with that Exorcism, they could look to threaten this high ground. Yep. They still got that Aegis. Forcing that buyback.
Straight away. Mushi, going to get some damage on with the Rage. There's the Exorcism. Moon looking to try and silence the backliners. Moon just standing his ground. Working on this melee racks. Can they finish it off with the Ghost? Quick link back from Moon. Quite finished it as of yet, but the Rage is back up. Mushi comes in. He gets punched, but he's able to stand his ground and find the tab and the racks. The melee racks are gone. Mineski getting in, getting out, utilizing that time, forcing out that buyback, and now standing at a 9k lead. Getting the advantage as LGD are struggling to bite back into these plays that Mineski are forcing.
They just can't get any, they can't make any plays. They can't get any return kills. The last time that LGD has actually gotten a kill was 20 minutes ago.
Oh. That is indeed a big slowdown in action from LGD. And
they just can't take the fights, right? You see Mineski, they're constantly moving around as a unit, and their heroes are pretty hard to pick off because of that.
Delame, he is that big old AM. If they can somehow enable him in the fights, he can go off. But as we see most of the time, it's just been sort of a panic from LGD as they try and get Arme out of the skirmishes.
Yeah, and it's really like him versus the world, too, at this point now. The Leshrac, Somnus gets killed very, very quickly versus all this physical damage that's coming out from Mineski. And carrying solo as an anti-mage versus these heroes, and now an Aghanim's finished as well on the Disruptor. It's looking very, very difficult for LGD.
Pull out Whistle from Mushi. He's terrifying. I mean, as we've seen with the Empower, Mushi has done an excellent job of keeping up with Arme's farm.
Yeah.
He does have an Invis. Has to be careful. Not want to get caught out alone, and he cannot afford to get caught out alone. It's getting to the point as well where we'll have to conserve that buyback gold.
I'm glad Ame did this. I've actually been kind of waiting for it. He had the Scotty queued up for a while, but now he's realizing he absolutely needs a BKB to actually be able to focus fire on any targets. Sure, there's going to be the net. That's going to be extremely annoying, but there's too many silencers. There's too much control coming out from the side of Mineski.
That's to just make sure that he gets it out before that Static Storm comes into play, as we just pointed out. But yet to sort of invest in the BKB, he is holding onto his goal. Now he'll get it. That BKB does not have money for buyback. Still quite a bit short of it. But we'll have to play pretty careful because as we've seen, if Mineski can take a team fight, they can push with quite some power, having the Deso AC build on Mushi. Max, an
again.
Incredible punch.
They're smoked. They see FY in the mid lane and Ame.
Ame's the big one. Jabs, looking for the setup, goes for the song. Ame already blinking himself out of range. FY, the only one to get caught. He's already used the blink, so there'll be no escape unless the Dark Breath can hit. Oh, he doesn't quite get close enough. Chalice!
And he committed for his full Aghanims too, so no buyback, 50 seconds.
Oh!
Or he's down for 50 seconds, sorry.
He didn't quite get in range.
Nope. That's not the catch. They ideally wanted the AM though with that. The sleep into Naga ulti, there's no way to get out of that. You can't get any of your spells off, or your items off, before that Disruptor Aghanims hits you. And now a DD rune has spawned bottom. Oh. Mineski, with all this map control, going to benefit a lot from these double runes, and also all their waves are pushing in.
Mushi now packing about 483 a punch. There's a life stealer you don't want getting anywhere near your barracks. Mineski.
Gotta watch out. There's no sleep right now for 15 seconds, but that sleep into Static Storm is always going to be a threat. 10 seconds till those are up.
Here come the Ghosts. And the Rage. Fortification comes out from LGD. They have FY back up. How do they get stuck into the fight, though? They've got to somehow find a way of getting Arme in them. Back in they go. FY, he's got the kick. Kicks Mushi in pretty deep. Arme coming in for the back lines, drops the Abyssal Blade down. He's looking to take out the Naga Siren. Jab still alive for now. He looks to juke around the tree line, but FY's in with the stone. But there's the RP. The Abyssal as well. They're holding Arme down, but it's not enough. The bash comes through for Mushi, but still Arme able to blink himself. So he get the kick. FY kicking up to the high ground. Mushi into the base. Looks towards Chalice. Chalice has to go center for the magical damage. There from Moon with the Siphon. The Crypt Swarm. They've taken down Chalice. He's got no back, but the buyback comes out from X-Nova. And Somnus, they look for the stun, but they've lost Arme. Arme down for 100 seconds without buyback available as Mineski ready to go all in. They're buying back on Ninja Boogie. They're ready to commit with the full push. Mineski, all 5 alive. FY again, looking for the kick into the Hex. They're trying to control up this Lifestealer, slow down the damage that Mushi can do to the barracks. FY into the snowball, but still, they're without 2 cores for at least a minute, LGD, and Mineski know this. They'll clean up the bottom racks. They'll sweep across towards the top lane. Mineski ready to take everything. Maybe even the championship title. FY trying his best to slow them down, but he gets skewered back. The Yules is up. They'll surround him. FY will fall as well.
The song in the back too. They're looking for Somnus. They've got the Ags. They've got the Static
They've
Storm.
got the control Somnus. Is he going to be able to get himself out? The shards from FY who did manage to survive. It's not enough. Somnus will fall.
3 cores dead.
40 seconds until Arme's back in the game, and Mineski know they're going straight for the tier 4s. They're looking to close things up here at DAC. FY again with the kick. 30 seconds, no anti-mage. They just can't slow this down, LGD. Mineski, the Southeast Asian legends, they absolutely are. Mushi rips through LGD, the Ancient will fall, and LGD are your DAC Major 2018 losers.
Losers.
Mineski win.
Mineski wins. SEA, Dota. It seemed like they had such a firm control of this game, though. For, like we said, 25 minutes, there wasn't a single kill for LGD.
I mean, Mineski, this team, you all know them, you all love them. Ice, Jabs, Mushi, Ninja, Boogie, and Moon. What a journey they've been on here at LAN. I don't think anyone, or at least most people, expected this team to come out at the top, let alone take the championship title. But they've done it. Mineski fans around the world can be so proud. Southeast Asia as a region will be watching from home and going absolutely crazy for this.
Such unbelievable improvement from Mineski. In the last couple weeks, them putting on that strict regimen from 71 has absolutely paid off.
Look at that as well. I believe we saw a smile there from Ice. He's normally a very sort of stoic man with his emotions, but even he can't hold it back here. As Mineski, your 2018 DAC Major champions, they'll head to Roche. They'll claim the Radiance. What a performance.
Jabs swinging at his teammates. Oh my God. They must feel incredible right now after that.
This sort of victory. And they did it with Mr. eHome71 as coach. China made it somehow, but SEA as a region, they're the winners here today. As there is no doubt about it, Mineski outperforming everyone that they went against here at LAN. They kept themselves in the upper bracket. They beat down LGD once, and they beat down upon them once again here as they win the grand finals 3-2 against LGD. As we'll pass over to the stage and over to Jack to hear some words from Mineski.
所取得的最棒的一个成绩了。那拿到了冠军，我们每个人和粉丝们说一句此时此刻最想说的话吧。好，我们从第一位开始。
First, congratulations to you guys. Probably the best result you have for the club history of Mineski. So I just want to quick ask everyone about what is going on in your mind right now, Jebs?
I feel like really crazy right now. Like this is the first major we win. Yeah.
我觉得现在非常开心，这是我们第一个 major。
So we play under pressure this game. Like they always got the advantage first game, third game, and then we won back fifth game.
我这场比赛的话有很大的压力，然后我们还是顶住了，最后在135的比赛里面终于拿下了这场比赛的胜利。
好的，那么接下来就是我们的颁奖仪式，让我们掌声有请我们的颁奖嘉宾，来自完美世界副董事长兼 CEO 肖红，掌声欢迎。 萧红先生将为本届亚洲邀请赛的冠军送上的是我们传统的专属礼品，来自于 DAC 定制的专属印章。来，我们小伙子们选一位做代表，接过我们萧红先生颁发的礼物。
So here we have the.
Oh, what are they getting?
Some special gifts here for the side.
Oh, those look pretty cool. What are they? I can't really tell what they are. Those are pretty awesome.
Oh, so these are some special stamps here for Mineski with each of their players' names on them. A special award here.
So well deserved.
Absolutely. This is what they were playing for.
Yeah.
And that look at the size of that Radiance.
Did they take that home too?
That Radiance weighing, I believe, 10 tons. A Ninja Boogie handling it with ease.
Oh, that's...
And is, of course, the trophy.
That is the trophy? You get to take that home? Getting that through the airport might be a little bit problematic, but that is an awesome trophy.
It is. I mean, I hope they get to take the Roshan as well.
That'd be pretty cool.
The Roshan is...
Maybe in
I think
combination.
that's what you want in your office.
Maybe if they have them
Mineski.
both, if they're both together, right? Maybe that's going to be suitable to pass through.
Well, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Mineski, a very well-deserved victory and a very hard-earned one as well. You could tell that this team put the effort in. We've seen sort of through the DPC period, Mineski at the start, they sort of had these early sort of shimmers of hope. Then they sort of started to slumber, not making necessarily all the lands, but here they go. They get to DAC, they play their way through, staying in the upper bracket.
And you have to give a lot of credit. You really have to give so much credit to 71.
71.
He was absolutely crucial for this team.
And here we have, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the current DPC standings now updated off the back of Mineski taking the top spot and LGD getting second place. And of course, with that win, Mineski now pushed up to 4th place here in the DPC standings as they'll enter the new top 4 now with VP, Liquid, Secret, and now Mineski.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I was reading, I think Nahaz or Nox, one of them were tweeting out, I think the break-off is like 3,200 or so, so this may have really just pushed them pretty much into TI.
It really is. And I think, you know, this is something that a lot of people at home are going to be very excited about, seeing sort of this success from the Southeast Asian side. You know, Mineski, a team that, you know, for as long as sort of Dota's been around, they've always had the fan base. This is a team that people have loved. And sort of this sort of collection of players with having like the Ice in, sort of the greats from the old and relatively sort of the newer players in terms of the grand scheme of Dota 2 as a professional sport, being able to find this perfect combination. And the way, as you say, 71 has been able to bring it all together.
Yeah, I mean, they have to be so happy. Everything kind of worked out for them in favor. They even got this beautiful patch too right at the beginning to kind of solidify them, to get like open up more of their picks. Having this Pango available really helped them a lot of the times. Just an absolutely great performance from Mineski.
It really was. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from us here at DAC 2018. We leave knowing that Mineski are comfortably in the DPC top 4, as you say, with a very strong outlook in terms of securing their place at this year's TI. I've been ODPixel. This has been Fogged. Thank you very much for joining us, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll hope to see you at the next DPC event. A big shout out, of course, to everyone behind the scenes who was involved in making this show a reality. As I'm sure you'll all agree, back at home, it has been a very smooth experience with minor delays, excellent work from all the lads and ladies here in China, and of course the PGL team that came over to make sure that we could bring you the best coverage possible of Dota 2. So keep playing the game, boys and girls. We'll see you next time.